Well, I think, one heartbeat for sure. We all have to believe in the same thing. And we talked about it earlier. There's going to be, there's not going to be much gray. I don't live in that gray world. I think it's very important that for us to be a championship defense, we're going to have to be empowered. I can't make all the calls. Same thing with the staff. You make a certain call, the players have to have, the trust and ingenuity and confidence to make a specific adjustment on the field. And so at some point you have to turn the keys over to the players. There'll be a certain way that we disrupt the football. There'll be a specific way that we tackle in certain environments and certain situations. There's going to be indicators for us in situations that we're going to have to recognize the situation and perform accordingly. And ultimately, we want to be really good, at tackling and doing the little things well. So I think one heartbeat, core fundamentals that bind us, and then ultimately a team that's player driven.
Al, you talk about fundamentals, and that's something you've mentioned in the past, wanting to be good at fundamentals. You just mentioned tackling. How do you go about being good at those things, improving at those types of things, especially in a league and in a time period where you don't do it a whole lot of practice?
Yeah, I think there's a process involved in it. I think you have to identify what the errors are, and are those errors, systematic? And if so, then you have to take a hard look at yourself and say, all right, what can we change? So I think there's a way to teach certain things. I have really strong beliefs. I think those beliefs will be tested by, the staff as we get together, and maybe we'll find a different way, a better way. But ultimately, we're gonna convene and plot a course for how we want to tackle, how we want to disrupt the football. We're going to teach it. We're going to drill it. We're going to quality control it. We're going to show the application to the game, and then we're going to show the standard, whether that's Bengals or other guys in our division or around the league, that we are chasing that standard. And we're going to repeat that process until it's refined and owned by the players. And for that to happen, it's got to move from their head to their heart. And that's, each guy takes a journey that's a little bit different, a young guy versus a veteran. But if they can get to the point where we all believe in the same thing and you start to see it on tape, that's when magic happens.
You specialized in man a ton at Notre Dame last year. Why did you end up doing that? Do you see that translating to the pro level?
I don't necessarily see it. That's just the way we evolved. I think the thing that made us difficult was we played a lot of different coverages. We may not have played as many zones as some people wanted, but our changeups were really great. Our middle field open changeups, our 3-zone changeups, that came off of that, man-to-man look. I think that's what made us hard. We just gravitated towards being a more, on-body man team last year, and but that's not to say that's what we're going to be best at. So put the players in the right position, identify what they do best, and then plot a course, and that's what we'll do here with Coach, Burks and Jordan and the defensive staff.
Was it hard to stay patient during this process when they kept winning and advancing?
Well, it was good because there was other guys I talked to and gained great experience from that. Look at Jerry Montgomery. Jerry Montgomery is a guy I've had on my list since we played the Packers in 2018 when I was at the Rams. And you got to look up who's the D-line coach, and that's when Jerry's name came to my radar. And so just as I went through the interview process of coordinators, I also at the same time was talking to some of these position assistants before they took jobs elsewhere. And then when Al's, accepted the job, last Wednesday as we talked, and felt like it was the right decision for both of us. We immediately get on the phone with Jerry, and make sure Al and Jerry can connect as well, and that Al sees it the same way I do. So there was a lot of good things that you got to do in between, a lot of phone calls you get to make to a lot of different position guys, and so we got a chance to use all that time. And then when Al became available, we made sure we talked, and it was the right fit for us.
Al, what did you make of the talent on the roster when you got in? How much did you look at what the Bengals currently had in the building?
Here now, that's our process. To be honest with you, the coach just gave us that instruction just to make sure we go back and it's hard to go and evaluate, other teams, players or guys in the draft without knowing what your base is. So that's our first challenge as a staff is to make sure we really know that our players inside and out, and so that's what I got to get to work on. So it would be premature for me at this stage to comment on that. Just know that we'll identify the strengths and weaknesses of each player, and then see where we go here in the next stage.